What's My Line? And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular Broadway columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you. The baseball season is over, but just the same, we're featuring a famous pinch hitter here. Pinch hitting for Fred Allen. On my left is the marvelous star of his own show every day on television, Mr. Robert Q. Lewis.
Thank you. To my left, a little gal I wish was my little Margie. Unfortunately, she's not, but she has so many things to her credit. For example, a brand new recording contract and the first effort thereof on Dot label, a song called I Hear You Knockin', which is a former disc jockey. I won't knock it all. I'll praise it to the high heavens. It's quite good. Miss Gale Storm.
And on my left, that eminent and well-known publisher of many wonderful books that I keep meaning to read, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Well, the nicest storm that's blown around me in a long time. Well, Arlene Francis was emulating the spirit of 76 today, and now I want to introduce on my left the spirit of our show, our charming, subtle, and utterly unhelpful moderator, John Charles Daly.
Thank you, Bennett. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again tonight, some interesting occupations, which we trust will give my friends on the panel some trouble. We'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later on, but right now I think it's time for these experts of ours to meet the first challenger they have to identify in terms of occupation. Will you sign in, please, sir? Not Thumb Thumb. First name is Ed. Ed Lyon. Is that right, sir? This is when I don't feel like I'm 6 feet tall. How tall are you, Ed?
6'5" and a half.
6'5" and a half?
Yes.
You play basketball?
I used to, yes.
Well, I'm glad I never played against you. Where are you from?
Kings Park, New York.
Kings Park, New York. Well, you're practically a neighbor then, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Practical terms. Well, these folks over here are all real neighborly. Just don't get too close. They don't bite, but still, they'd like to get a closer look at you. So will you take a hike, please?
I do, sir.
How do you do?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lyon, over here, if you will, and sit down next to me. And the next thing I need to know is, are you familiar with our scoring system?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you're familiar with our scoring system, let's let the people at home and those who are here with us in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right. You all set, Ed?
Yes, sir.
If I may, I'll call you Ed, you call me John, and let's do them in, shall we?
All right, we'll
Good
try
deal.
very hard.
All right, Ed is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Robert Q. Lewis.
Ed, do you work for a profit-making organization?
No, sir.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss
Well, that's
Storm.
a grand start.
Well, now, is it involved anyway with the government work?
Yes.
Yes. Do you wear a uniform when you work?
Yes, I do.
Let me see now. Do you, in your line of work, do you deal with both men and women?
No.
Small conversation. Wait a sec. Tough. That's all. This I got to say tough. The no answer stands. 2 down and 8 to go. Mr. Cerf.
Well, Mr. Lyon, would this uniform that you wear be anything to do with any one of the armed services?
Yes.
Are you at the present time a member of the United States Armed Services in some way or other?
Yes, I am, sir.
You can't get into an airplane.
I've tried.
You couldn't be in one of those little tanks. Is it the Army branch?
Yes, sir.
Has it anything to do with the air wing?
With the what, sir?
The
Air wing.
air, do you ever go up above the ground in what you do?
As a part of your Army service, you wouldn't go up above the ground, would you? You mean in a flyby motor type thing?
Bouncing in a Jeep.
Oh, no, you can't get away with that, Bennett, Cerf. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, this sex that you deal with, is it the obvious one?
Well,
Aren't there two?
you mean girls?
Well, I think only in his private life, probably. But if he's in the Army, it would be more logical that he would deal more completely with men.
Would you like to ask the question, is the sex that you deal with male?
Not the way your arm is reaching for the card, I wouldn't. But I think I better, because that's really what I meant. Do you deal more with men than with women?
Yes, I would say so.
I was rather hoping for the girls that you commanded a troop of whacks, but I can see that that was a vain thought. If you are not in the air some of the time, are you on land more than at sea?
Now, who were you meaning about being at sea? What?
He'll never be at sea. Don't worry about him. Are you mostly on solid ground?
Yes.
Are you on it rather than beneath it?
Anybody got a mirror? Read. Yup, he's doing fine.
All right.
Yes.
Well, obviously, there's something special about your job, or you wouldn't be here. You're not just a soldier. Do you have a title, how you say in English, a commission?
Yes.
Well, is it below general?
I'm afraid. Yes.
Is it below colonel?
Yes.
Are you a captain?
No.
You led me into that with your expression.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Lewis.
I have a hunch. This is the craziest show I have ever been on in my life, and I'm going to
You're
follow
right.
it through. Last week I was going to disqualify myself because I was sure it was Lucille. Do you hold the rank of lieutenant?
Yes.
Is that is that commission relatively new?
Yeah, I was thinking relative terms, you'd have
Yes.
to say yeah.
I think you're who I think you are. Was your picture on the front page of the New York Times about a week or so ago? Are you the first fellow that's ever gotten into this kind of work? Should I let them? Should I pass?
No,
now?
you're doing fine. Go
That's
ahead.
all right.
It'd be more fun to see what they would do.
I'll flip all the cards. Now, you go ahead and tell us what it is.
This is the first. This gentleman, Lieutenant Lyon, is the first gentleman to be admitted to the Army Nursing Corps, if I am not correct.
The first commissioned male in the Army's Nurse Corps, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
And actually, we were hoping that you'd get all involved because basically Lieutenant Lyon is an anesthetist, you know, in the operating room. He feeds you the stuff that knocks you out. But you didn't get into the knockout part of it, so I think we threw all the cards at it. You did very well. You answer questions with much more confusion than I could possibly create. I'm proud of you.
John, this may cut down the sickness rate in the Army fantastically.
Well, I don't know. They got wax in the Army now, too.
Yeah, they do.
Well, Lieutenant, may we wish you great success in your work. It's good to have had you with us, and you certainly were a fine and a very interesting guest. It was
Thank
nice
you,
to
sir.
have you with you. Have All right, panel. A very good beginning. Let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Will you sign in, please, ma'am? Just sign your name up there. Put your telephone number right under it. Nancy. Nancy Shepherd, right? it Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Oh, Mrs. Well, how are you, Mrs. Shepard?
Fine, thank
Where are you from, ma'am?
Globe, Arizona.
Globe, Arizona. Well, it's nice to have you with us. The panel over there doesn't get a chance very often to meet anybody from Arizona, so will you go let them have a closer look at you?
Globe, Arizona.
Globe, Arizona. How do you do?
How do you do, Miss
Hello.
Shepard?
How do you do? Going to be in New York a while?
All right, Mrs. Shepard, over here, if you will, and sit down next to me. We'll get back to the start of things here, and I must ask you if you're familiar with our scoring system, are you? Every time you say no, I flip a card. All right? Good. All righty, let's let the people at home and our friends here in the theater know exactly what your line is. All righty. Panel, Mrs. Shepard is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mrs. Shepard, we haven't had anybody from Globe, Arizona on this program for weeks. Is the fact that you're a very lovely-looking girl, would that lead me to a correct conclusion that you're in some kind of show business?
Yes.
And you're from Globe, Arizona? Well, there's
Lowe's Globe.
There's a show playing right around the corner at Madison Square Garden, Rodeo. Would you have anything whatever to do with that rodeo?
Yes.
Well, what is it?
Come again, Bennett.
Do you perform in that rodeo?
Yes, I do.
Well, you aren't one of those mean girls that throws those calves over and ties their legs together and
No.
makes them milk them, are you?
No, that's a no answer. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, do you ride a horse in the
Yes.
rodeo? Are you some sort of showy rider?
Yes.
What is
A
the...
stunt rider? Is that the
Well, I think that we would probably have to say that that's pretty
bareback
close.
rider? No, not in a western.
Well,
No,
there's
that's the
a-
wrong thing. At Madison Square Garden. I don't know what the technicality, but she does tricks on a horse.
Trick is right. Trick rider. I have just had specific instruction from Bennett Cerf. He said, go like this. So I go like this. Mrs. Shepard, all I can say is this is the penalty you pay for being so beautiful. You see, Bennett could see that you, with that much beauty, you had to do something that the public could enjoy. Thanks very much for being our guest. I'm sorry we didn't give him more trouble. It's nice to have had you with us. Bye-bye. Panel, you're very hot tonight, and we'll give you a chance to meet tonight's mystery guest in just... Come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery guest. And for this particular part of the program, my friends on the panel are blindfolded, and the blindfolds are all in place, are they, panel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, John.
All righty, will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, we use a different form of questioning for this part of the program. You ask one question each in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin this with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Do you sing?
I beg your pardon?
Do you sing?
Not for money, no.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Lewis.
Are you in show business?
For 1 week more anyway, I don't know.
Mr. Storm?
Do you act in show business?
Well, there's question about that a little sometimes, but next question, please.
Mr. Cerf?
Has your distinguished, I hope it's distinguished face, ever appeared on the motion picture screen?
Yeah, but for a little while only. Few seconds, that's all.
Miss Kilgallen?
Is he serious about that? This isn't a question.
Well, I would think that the answer properly is that our guest has appeared in motion pictures, and the issue of the time he spent on the screen we'll just leave in abeyance.
In
Well-
abeyance, we leave that.
Well, he answered yes to acting, didn't he?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, are you then more a stage actor than a screen actor?
A little, half and half, something like that. Mr. Lewis. I don't know how you can miss from all I gave you.
It's getting easier because I begin to recognize that accent. Obviously more a Chevalier. What? We won't count that, I hope, John.
No, it's not counted.
Are you then primarily known for your work on the legitimate stage?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Storm.
Are you a TV performer?
Yeah.
Mr. Cerf?
Do you appear regularly on TV, like once a week or something like that?
Only once a week, that's all.
Miss Kilgallen?
Do you have a completely different accent when you're on television?
A little, yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Are you best known for your comedy talents?
Sometimes.
Not to be misleading, actually, I'm going to call the answer properly a no answer in the context of the question, but certainly our guest has talents as a comedian, although that is not, let us say, the only function. All right, Miss Storm?
Does the show that you do once a week have your name in the title?
Just after the title, yeah.
So that is properly a no answer again.
Nothing to do with a contract. I don't know what it is.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
That voice is beginning to sound very familiar to me. May I ask, do you give away huge sums of money that are not your own?
Yeah, and it breaks my heart a little bit.
You're Hal March.
I beg your
Hal
pardon?
March?
I beg your pardon, Mr. Cerf?
Is it Hal March?
Hal
Yeah.
March. Well, Hal, I'm sorry. The accent was magnificent, but I'm afraid your voice is too well known.
Well, for a while there, I was going to be a dialectician, but I'll forget that.
I hope Hal has brought some samples with him tonight.
Well, that's what I thought. If we could keep him here a bit, he might have just a few lying about that he'd like to pass
Just
around.
let me touch it for a little while, Rob. I can't.
Do you get a vicarious thrill out of being near that much money?
No, I get close to a heart attack from getting near to giving so much away. It is kind of exciting, though, being close to that much money. Although we don't actually see it. It's just a check, you know. But there's an awful lot of zeros. Remember Captain McCutcheon? 364000. Gee, that's a big figure.
Mr.
Hal?
March, how about that? Oh, excuse me, Dorothy. How about that part you play in Always Fair Weather? That's a pretty big part.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Bennett.
And I take exception to the answer you gave. Are you a comedian? Because he's a darn good comedian. If
He
you've seen
is
him-
not currently
You're right.
principally
You're right.
known
Currently,
as a
he is
comedian,
not.
which was the point I was making. Yes, Dorothy.
Hal, have you ever tried to figure out how many of the questions that you've asked people on the show you could answer yourself?
Yes, I have. I could have gone to, I think I could have gone to $8,000 with Gloria Lockerman, but then I was in competition with a 12-year-old kid, so I'm not sure. I'm not too proud of that. Any of the others, I think I'd have probably dropped out way, way before, possibly before I got to $1,000. I'm not too bright, you know. I don't read too well either. I don't know why I'm doing the show, frankly.
Everybody else does.
One last question I'd like to ask you, because
Yes,
it's always interested me. What do you feel about this? Take the people who have gone so far on your program, up into the higher reaches of finance. If they were not given that week to think it over, do you feel that most of them would have gone for the next one, gone for the $64,000, if they'd had to make their decision right then and there?
I don't know, John. It's a tough question to ask. I think the week to think it over is both an aid and a hindrance, you know, because actually the truth of this is kind of interesting. Each contestant who has gone to a large sum, consistently, every one of them has lost weight. I know Mrs. Power, Mert Power, lost 20 pounds. Captain McCutcheon lost 7, which he could hardly afford. You know, he was not too heavy to begin with. I think if they were to make the decision the same night, they're liable to make a mistake that could be so completely emotionally overcome.
I got a friend who, if you'd guarantee that 10 pounds, would let you keep the money.
What do you think? I'm doing the show.
Well, thanks a lot.
Oh, one more thing. I'd like to say one more thing, John. Last Tuesday night, our show went simulcast, which means that it's heard now on radio at exactly the same time that it is on television. So now we're really getting a big audience. We're being heard in cars and in...
You weren't before.
Well, I don't know. I didn't count it, but that's pretty much it. We're on the CBS radio network now, too. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for...
A brave man who comes on television and talks about radio. Here is your medal. Thanks, Bill. Thank you very much. All right, panel, let's see what you can do with another challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please, sir? Edward Hemphill, is that right, sir? Where are you from?
San Francisco.
From San Francisco? Take a look at the panel. Now that you're properly horrified, come with me. Sit over here because we're a little short of time and we'll dispense with the walk down.
All right.
Do you know how we score this operation?
Yes, I do.
Good, then let's let the people at home and our friends here know exactly what your line is. All right. And now, panel, we have about 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I will tell you that Mr. Hemphill is self-employed, and we'll begin the general questioning with Miss Storm.
Do you deal in services, Mr. Hempel?
Yes.
Is there...
Just to come... Wait, may I ask Mr. Hemphill to come in closer, sir? That's right, up to your microphone. Now, the question was, do you deal in services?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, by our connotations, Mr. Hemphill does not. So we'll give you a no. That's 1 down and 9 to go. Let's go on, Mr.
Mr.
Cerf.
Hempel, there was a great outfielder on the Yankees once named Hemphill. You're not related to him, are you?
No.
I mean, that isn't a no question.
No, that's a legitimate query for information only.
Do you do your work in the Bay Area?
What area?
In the
right.
Bay Area.
Yes.
In San Francisco itself?
In San Francisco.
Is there a product involved in what you do?
Is there a product involved in
Yes.
Is it a useful product?
Yes.
Is it a product that might be consumed?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, is it something that would be found in the home?
Something to be found in the home?
Yes.
Could it also be found in other places?
Yes.
Do both men and women use it?
Yes.
Is it attractive?
Well, yes.
Mr. Hempel's not going to say anything else.
Could I carry it around with me?
Yes.
Would it be all right if I did?
Yes.
I mean, nobody would laugh.
Yes.
Is it something other than wearing apparel?
Yes.
Would it be considered part of the equipment of a normal home?
No, I would think not, actually. I don't think that you could call it part of the equipment of a normal home. It would be in some homes, but in most it would not be, and we've run out of time because I don't think you're going to get this. Men, pick up your masks, will you please? The men, pick up your masks.
Yeah.
I want you to meet the man who makes them. These are sleep masks. He'll make them. Well,
Everybody in the city sleeps with those things on. That's
Well,
normal.
you're
Not abnormal to have to wear one of these.
No, you don't. Actually, but I don't.
Am I?
Well, let's not. We'll be back in just... And Miss Gale Storm and Robert Q. Lewis, it was nice having you with us tonight. Until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Kilgallen.
Good night, Mr. Daly. Good night, Bob. Come soon again.
Thank you, Dorothy. I'll be on hand with all of you to welcome Fred Allen back next week. Thanks to him for my being here. Good night, Gale. Nice to see you.
Thank you. And have fun in Massachusetts, Bennett.
Thank you, Gale. Goodbye, Gale. Goodbye, Arlene. Good night, John.
Goodbye, Gale. Goodbye, Alex. And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line? Transportation for What's My Line is arranged through American Airlines, America's leading airline, serving 77 major cities throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.